right, Infernal Blessings. We are back with another video. All right, before I begin, let me run through some announcements. First and foremost, the yearly forecast readings are winding down. You have up until the recording of this video, which I think today is the 8th, if I'm not mistaken, right? 8th. Whatever Saturday's date is, which I believe is the 10th, yes. So you have until Saturday, February 10th to book your yearly forecast reading, and then I finish up the following week. And that pretty much wraps it up doing the actual readings and the bookings. So again, Saturday's your last day. If you do want to book a 2024 yearly forecast reading, please get an email and a request to do so before Saturday, February 10th, 2024. All right. If you want to book any other type of reading that I do offer, a Egyptian oracle reading, a Klipothic demonic reading, which works with the deities of the Klippoth, right? A shadow work reading to uncover the shadow and the hidden self and to always work on those things that need to be worked on about yourself or to be pointed in that right direction of what kind of ritual work you should be doing. A deity reading to see what kind of spirits, gods, goddesses, and demons walk with you. Any of the aforementioned, or maybe you just want to do a spiritual consultation and there's something specific you want to focus on. Either or, shoot me an email at khnum19@gmail.com. Please include a full weekly availability, a 7-day-a-week availability that you are available throughout the week, plus the time zone that you are in speeds up the process, because as you know, I deal with clients in all the different time zones, not just within the United States, but overseas, Africa, Europe, you name it. I'm dealing with people from all of those areas, okay? So just wanted to put that out there, very important, okay? Also, if you want to sign up for classes, the way to sign up for classes, the way to do that is to go to the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page, patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, tier 3. That's the tier you want to join. That's going to give you access to the 3 private classes I do every month on Patreon, in addition to the group ritual. Also, when you join, it doesn't just give you access from the day you join moving forward. It gives you access to everything in the tier going back 4+ years now. And it gives you access to all of the work in the classes, all of the ritual work in the classes, in addition to the group ritual work. So yeah, when I tell you, again, I say this with confidence, not arrogance, for what I'm offering and the price that it is, nobody's offering that. Trust me when I tell you. You're not going to get this amount of content, these amount of classes, and the various subjects in the work that I'm covering. All right. So check it out, patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, tier 3. That's the tier you want to join. All right. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram, Primordial Chaos 9, one word. Facebook, 2 words, Primordial Chaos. I also upload all the new YouTube content there. And the TikTok page is up. So I've been posting the first 10 minutes of all the new content because, as you know, TikTok only lets you upload a 10-minute video. So to link people from that platform to all the platforms, you'll start seeing now I'm putting up 10-minute videos on TikTok. I'll try to get some other posts and things up there. But like you guys know, we're doing all this stuff, man. It's work, and it takes up a lot of your time. But it is what it is. But the TikTok page is up and running. Also, don't forget to check out the Primordial Chaos podcast, all right, which is available on Spotify, all major podcast platforms. The direct link to the podcast, along with my contact email address to reach out to me for any type of spiritual reading or spiritual consultation, and also the direct link to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page to sign up for classes. All of that is in the description box of this video that you're currently watching right now. All right, so let's get into it. I get a lot of emails, as you see, feeling the Santa Muerte, Holy Death energy today, which was because of an email and some work I did yesterday. But I always get emails about the do's and don'ts. Should I not work or do this with Santa Muerte, Holy Death, this, that, and the other? All right, I just want to kind of make a clear statement. A lot of people that reach out to me with those questions are coming from a perspective of working with the heavily influenced religious aspect of Santa Muerte, the Holy Death. All right? I just want to be clear on that. I know because by the line of the questions. Okay? And let me give you a quick example. Then I want to get into what the title is about with Santa Muerte. But this is part of it. So this is the prelude to it. People ask, is it true if you work with Santa Muerte, you can only work with her and nobody else? Completely false. Okay? And I've answered this question several times in the past. Right? Is it okay to do this and put this here, this, that, and the other? All right, I'm just going to keep it simple. Just all these do's, don'ts. I was told I can't do this, that, and the other. I want to make this clear. Yes, you will get those do's and don'ts, and you can only work, and all these restrictions and concepts if you're reading material or listening to teachers or dealing with an aspect of the Holy Death that comes from a traditional aspect that's heavily influenced from Catholicism. I don't work with that. I've made that clear a multitude of times. I don't work and incorporate any Catholicism / Christianity in my work with Santa Muerte, the Holy Death. Not interested. I go more completely back to her ancient manifestation of the Aztec goddess of the underworld in her many forms. And I correlate her color, her aspects that you know in modern day now, and I connect it with how I connect with my work. So I don't work with any of that modern day traditional stuff with Santa Muerte. I just don't do it. Okay? So let's establish that. I want to make that clear. Yes, you can work, if you're on the path of the occult, you can work with other deities, you can work other systems, you can do other practices. That's entirely up to you. Okay? The rule of thumb is simple. When I say the rule of thumb, which is for your personal benefit, not because it's any written rule, your best bet is to keep her work, her altars, her work, and all of her implements by themselves. Look good, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't encourage you cross-referencing her work with other systems. I don't encourage you mixing other pantheons with her. It's not spiritually productive to do that. Just a suggestion. You might be a person who does and say, well, I do it and I get results. Then it doesn't apply to you. But across the board, you're going to see well over 80% of the time, it's just not a productive thing to do. All right? So real simple. If you work with other pantheons, other systems, just keep her altar and her work with its own place. That's it. That's simple. All right? Now, having said that, I want to talk about Santa Muerte, the Holy Death, being the gateway to your subconscious mind. And I want you to understand working with her from a more esoterical occult perspective. All right? Understanding her 7 aspects, as I've described in the past, is every aspect in regards to what those 7 aspects represent are the portals or the gateways to your subconscious mind. Okay? So yes, when we look at this in this video, I'm going to talk more about her on an esoterical perspective. People will ask the question, do her 7 aspects, is there a correlation with your 7 chakras? Most definitely. Because when you look at her 7 aspects, as I've said before, they all connect with basic, well, let me give you some of the basic attributes. Like when you look at, for an example, her red aspect, right? That connects with protection, sexual energy. It connects with things, which is kind of rooted in the root chakra on the physical plane, right? Her red aspect is connected with all those elements. The white aspect, as I said before, is connected with all forms of healing, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. The green aspect deals with things, justice. And it's a misconception when people say, oh, the green aspect is when you just got legal problems, or if you're dealing with a situation with the courts and the criminal system. Yes, it is part of that. But her green aspect is strongly rooted in all matters of business. Signing contracts, agreements. So there's more to it. All right, I'm just going to run through these quick. The gold aspect, yes, deals with finances, but also very high forms of spiritual healing on a very deep level that goes beyond that I can't really put in words. And her gold aspect too works with physical healing, ailments, injuries, sicknesses, which not really talked about a lot because the gold is always focused on a lot strictly with finances. Okay, a violet or purple aspect deals with enhancing your spiritual powers, your psychometry, your clairvoyance, your intuition, all your psychic and magical abilities. As I said, can be used to charge talismans, ritual tools, things of that nature. All right, the blue aspect can be used for peace among family and within the home. Okay, so these are her main attributes that are connected to her aspects. So when you look at all those attributes connected to her main 7 colored aspects, okay, and then obviously the black aspect, which I'm sure everybody knows what that's. The black aspect is unique because it can be used as a gateway deity, right? Because it is one of those gateway archetypes or deities like Ampu or Anubis, or like the Barons in Voodoo or Voodoo, or any other gateway deity for that matter, okay? And obviously the black is used for dark witchcraft, sorcery, black magic, works of destruction, launching attacks, all of those things, okay? When you look at all of her attributes in relation to yourself and what's going on in your life, if you know how to connect with each one of those attributes, because everything I just mentioned, I'm sure everybody listening and watching this video has something in relation to one of those aspects or multiple going on in their life right now as you're watching this video. So whether it's through your meditations, your ritual work, or whatever ritual work you've designed to connect with her, that's how you connect, right? You connect with that particular aspect and attribute first and foremost by igniting that tent, by putting that mental thought out there. Santa Muerte, aka the Holy Death, right, is a very powerful spirit that you can work with. When I say on a mental level, a lot more so than other spirits. There's a high vibrational frequency you must attain in order to connect with her, especially her black aspect, right? Because she vibrates at such a high frequency. You're going to find most gateway deities do, right? There's a thing I like to call, there's such a strong vibrational energy that one who is in tune can become spiritually, that's just a term, sensitive and able to tap in. Well, Santa Muerte, because when you're dealing with a spirit that's a gateway deity, that, as they say, I don't like to use the realm of the dead, but bridges the realm of the dead with the realm of the living, you're working with this entity that is constantly in and out of this realm, right? And has the ability, right, to vibrate on different frequencies and levels, and has the ability, like we have the ability, to jump back and forth from these worlds, right? Because she specifically, especially in her Aztec Maya's underworld form, is linked to the underworld, right? So yes, it is also, or she also is a gateway to the void and the abyss, and we already know what the void and the abyss is, whether we're dealing with it with the Klippath or any other system. That's the inner depths of your subconscious mind. That's where all that hidden knowledge and potential that you must unlock about yourself and master. And included in that package is all of the bullshit you've been suppressing that you're not working on and addressing. And yes, Santa Muerte, that's the part of your subconscious mind she will unlock. So don't get it twisted. It could be Kali, it could be Lilith, it could be Lucifer, it could be Belial, it could be whoever. There are high levels of hidden gnosis of the shadow self that Santa Muerte will unlock. That's why I say she is the porthole and the gateway to your subconscious mind and accessing all that's there. So be careful, because I've seen people start working with her, and I'm not saying be careful. I try to catch myself when I say that, because I don't like to promote fear and being afraid and scared, because then I get a whole bunch of emails. Oh, I'm worried and concerned. So I'm not saying be careful, excuse me, in the sense to be afraid. I'm saying be careful, because be ready and prepared for sometimes a very influx of intense change. That's why I'm saying be careful. Because sometimes people fuck around, they go work with her for one thing, and it's opening up the doorways and the portholes to another change that needs to be done in their life. If Santa Muerte will go to work on it, and sometimes they're not looking, and they're not prepared, and they don't see it coming. Okay? That's something I would tell you, be careful in the sense, I should say be alert. Right? Be aware is what I should say. And why? As you heard me say many times over the years, sometimes what you think you need, right, can get confused more so with a want. And sometimes what you want isn't what you need. When you're working with gateway deities, and especially the Holy Death, Santa Muerte, she too is going to bring you first what you need. And let me reiterate, sometimes people, they might go to work on something with Santa Muerte because they're trying to get something accomplished, and they might say, clear any blockages that are on the path to me accomplishing this. And guess what? You might have not either been specific, or you might have not been prepared. It could be your spouse, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or something in your life that you weren't even focused on. But because your energy and intent was for that reason, she'll go to work on those things that need to be removed, that are obstructions in your path. That's what I mean when I say be prepared. Because sometimes we can't see the problem, and sometimes that problem is right in front of our face, and we don't see it. And it's a hard pill to swallow. Fucked up part about it is some people know they might have a significant other that's toxic, or a situation going on, and they wholeheartedly know, and they just don't do anything about it. Well, if you're in a situation like that, and then you start connecting with energy like with the Holy Death, man, that shit's going to implode in your face. Trust me when I tell you. It's not a matter if, it's when. Okay? So that's what I mean when I say be prepared and ready as those changes start to manifest and happen in your life. And it's for your own personal growth. Not all of them are going to be pleasant. Not all of them are going to be easy. Not all of them are going to be fun to deal with. But it's what must be done in order for you to get to the level and become who you're capable of being and what you're capable of accomplishing. Okay? So that's the more important thing. So I don't want to stress be careful, because I don't like to use the scared shit. It's not why I'm saying it. Sometimes people are not prepared, and they underestimate how this shit manifests. Okay? Now, you might have read books. There are other, which I'm not going to get into here, but there are other aspects of her outside of the 7 main that we're familiar with on the surface. So I would just tell the practitioner, if you are thinking about, or you do have, or have established a connection and relationship with Santa Muerte, the Holy Death, cultivate it, slowly, and bring it along correct. Because she will guide you in which direction you need to go. She will guide you with the right choices and the decisions in relationship of how you're supposed to connect and work with her. Trust me when I tell you. And for those that are linked in and work with her, you know what I'm talking about. Those that maybe are not, or just started, you may not fully understand that at the current moment. Okay? And that's okay. Right? That's all right. But when we look at her as a gateway deity, And that doorway to the openings of the inner depths of our subconscious mind, she's going to unlock a lot of hidden knowledge within ourselves. Okay? Santa Muerte, like I say, as I said in the beginning of the video, we're not talking about dealing with her in her modern day traditional form. Okay? Because that's where, what I said in the beginning of the video, you get all the do's and don'ts, and you should not, this, that, the other. I don't mess with any of that. So I don't abide by those guidelines, if that's the right word, or rules and regulations that people try to hold you to. Okay? So how you connect with her, like any other spirit, you need to establish that personal relationship with the deity. Okay? Because she has many forms, masks, and manifestations, just like a lot of the other spirits. So you need to figure out, as I said, when you go through understanding her 7 main aspects, what do you got going on in your life right now that you need to connect with that particular aspect, right? Because once you open your subconscious mind to the awareness of what that represents, that's when the changes start to happen. That's when things manifest that you need to address and deal with. Okay? That's the starting point. And as I said many times before, okay? There's certain things you do on this path that you don't want to dibble and dabble and just pussyfooting it, bullshitting, that. It's just certain systems are just, in my opinion, it's detrimental to your growth to do with it like that, or to fuck with it like that. Okay. Now, yes, as I said before, more so when you're a newer practitioner with a newer system, you're gonna have to experiment. That's part of the process, because the only way you get answers is through your experimentations, right? That's why they do. It's why, like, when you look in the science field and the medical field and this, that, and the other, they do experiments, right? Because through those experiments and studies is how they get their answers. Well, you got to be the same way on your path. You're gonna have to experiment. And please don't email me, do you think I'm ready to work with Santa Muerte, the Holy Death? I can't answer that for you. And even if I did what felt 100% certain too, you got to come to the conclusion of that. Okay, I can't say, yeah, you are. I can suggest and say, look, I think you have gained enough of knowledge too. But the only person that's going to know that when you're truly ready, or when you are, is you. And you know you're truly ready when you stop asking, do you think I'm ready? That's my whole point. When you stop asking that and that thought don't cross your mind, that's how you know you're ready for anything in life. But as I said, or have been saying recently, you can never be 100% prepared for anything. It doesn't exist. Okay? Now, last thing, let's see how much time we got. All right. Last thing I kind of want to run through is in regards to Santa Muerte, the Holy Death. Just like any other deity, establish simple practices with her first out the gate. Get acclimated with the energy if you don't feel comfortable in setting up a full-blown altar, right? Which would be with her images, implements, things that are connected to what she represents. And there's a lot of things, right? There's so much hidden gnosis with the skith, right? As I said before, a great thing to do is go into ritual and visualize her passing her skith over your entire body, or cutting away from you things that need to be removed, but ritualize that, right, through your work, right? We know the owl, for an example, which is a symbol that's strongly connected to the Holy Deaths, aka Santa Muerte. The owl is a nocturnal creature, right? It has impeccable vision and it sees in the dark or the night very well. that owl also is a representation of you on this path. You too, like the owl, must be able to go into the darkness and see the light or the knowledge or the intellect. Right? There's so many symbolics. Then you have the scales of justice, right? We talked about that. That represents that harmonious state you need to achieve to be, quote unquote, whole, a whole complete being, right? So there's so much hidden gnosis in the Holy Death, in her implements that she carries and what she represents. Okay? And I can tell you this, when you're functioning and you're really connected to the Holy Death energy, I can't even really put it into words. You just start to see so many things happen around you that it's hard to put into perspective. Okay? And what you need to understand is these things start to happen because your frequency changes. So it's not that this is just magically happening out the blue like some poof Hollywood movie. It means that your vibrational energy is changing. It's meshing in with where at the frequency it needs to vibrate at. So this is when that high states of awareness start to kick in. Okay? As people describe through their experiences. All right, but anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. I don't want to make this too long-winded. Almost here. Well, I'm here at my destination, just waiting for these cars to move up. So yeah, hopefully this video helped. Discussing her 7 attributes briefly, and the main thing is, yes, you could still work with the Holy Death and other systems. That was a very good question. And then to all the newer practitioners who are kind of spanking new and are now, have made the intent to work with her, I promise you, do your research, understanding, you won't be disappointed. I can tell you that 100%. All right. Anyway, having said that, if you need to reach out to me for a spiritual reading, a consultation, or any of the aforementioned, remember, in the direct link for the podcast, the social media pages, my contact email address, the direct link to sign up for the Primordial Chaos Patreon page, all of those things are in the description box of this video that you're watching right now. All right? We will talk soon, people. Infernal blessings, and I'm out of here.